to the cloud.
You're always
And I
live, John.
just heard a little bird chirp in my ear named Jackie. It says, "You're live." Thank you, Jackie.
Every day.
Yay. So glad you're here. And we're at full capacity in the room. If you're joining us on the YouTube channel, I am so glad you're here as well. Congratulations for getting on and finding us on YouTube. I want to look at my friends here. We've got quite a few of them. There is Esther and her daughter. There is Steve, Teresa, Pete, and Christine. Look at them. There they are. John Hyder's forehead. Good to see you, John. There's Thomas. Samantha, Tolu, Jackie, Heather. Wow. Wow. All my friends. Karen. Good to see you, Karen. How are those horses doing? Good, I hope.
Well, they're doing well, but I am not doing well at all. So I think I might have to exit, but I wanted to say hi to everybody. I thought I'd stay here, but I don't think I'm going to. So
okay. Well, good to see you. You take care of yourself, my friend.
I will hopefully see you tomorrow.
All right. Very good.
Bye-bye.
Carl, Doug, and good to see everyone. Carl. Many Carls here today. We're going to go ahead and get the show on the road. I'll go ahead and mute our microphones. And I do see here a text from Paula. It says, unfortunately, something is not working with my video. I'll keep working on it. Good idea, Paula. Keep working on it. You can hear everyone. Well, this is an audio program anyway, so just consider it a radio show or a podcast. And it's just an extra treat if you get to behold my beauty while we talk. So I do want to also recommend our brand new members, Dwight and Amy, Neela, Donna, Raquel, and Paulos, who I just met on a welcome session just 15 minutes ago. So welcome you guys. Welcome to the family. If you made it on here live, then you are on policy. Our policy is if you can't be on time, be early. So what are we going to talk about today? I had a couple ideas. Yes, I did. I had a couple ideas that came up for me actually while I was talking to one of our new members just earlier. And that is the difference between moving towards something you want versus fixing your attention on trying to get out of something you don't want. And I think this is a very instructive yet brief topic that I'm going to introduce here. And then I'd like for you to consider how you can apply this into your life today, right? Because you don't need training on it. You don't need to belabor it. You don't need to go to some, mystic vortex to get the right energy to do this, right? You just gotta look. You just gotta look. And so what I'm going to offer you today is an exercise on creating clarity in your life so that you can get more of what you want and less of what you don't, which I think everyone unanimously would agree that would be a good thing, right? So considering just what I said, let's think for a moment about what most people do. Okay, so a lot of times we can get mentoring just by looking out into society, and people who don't even know there are mentors are mentoring us, showing us exactly what not to do. Okay, so here's what not to do and what a lot of people are doing. Okay, so they fix their attention on whatever is being thrust at them from the outside. Okay, whether that's through mass media, right? CNN, constant negative news, BBC. I don't have a cool acronym for that one. Maybe our one of our Brits can come up with something really good for that. But yeah, so we've got mass media, we've got all kinds of problems in the world.
That'll be the bullshit broadcasting corporation.
There you go, Thomas. Thank you, sir. So one of the countrymen there in the UK who has correctly identified the broadcasting service. But we've got all these things, which could also be circumstances in your own life. You don't just have to be told about the problems of the world by a third party. You could also look at the problems in your own life firsthand, right? Because you've got them. Who doesn't, right? We got problems. All right, that's fine. And I think I mentioned this yesterday. One of the highest functions that a human is capable of is solving problems. I mean, life would be really, really boring if not for that, right? So great news. You get to solve problems. The fact is that you can. And the first step to solving a problem is confronting the problem. Okay, so you've got to be willing to look. Now, the problem for a lot of people is, and this is where I'm going with as far as observing what not to do. Okay, a lot of people have a problem which they may not even know how they got into, and they'll look at that and they'll fix their attention on it. And this is a problem. oh yeah, this is a problem. But they're not actually confronting the problem. They're actually lamenting, feeling bad about the problem, and all the considerations running around in their head about how this problem is a barrier to them reaching their goals, assuming they have goals, which is another thing that most people don't. Okay. But assuming they had goals, like this barrier is going to stop them from getting what they want in their life, the experience that they want to have, whether that's riches or, success in some field, or luxury, ease, comfort, right? These are the things that drive people. So there's a problem. And now they fix their attention on that problem. And what do we know just by observing how life works? What you validate expands. What you fix your attention on, you get more of. And I'm sure you could see evidence of this in your life and in the lives of many people, just because you didn't just show up on planet Earth yesterday, right? You know other Earthlings, so you can observe what happens in people's lives. Do you know anyone who keeps showing up like with the same complaint, right? It's like this chronic thing going on in their life. And it takes a few different shapes, a few different forms, but my goodness, are they encumbered with these shortcomings or these difficulties in some area of their life? I think everybody knows at least one or two people like that, right? So what is happening there? That is a person who has fixed their attention on not what they have, but what they lack in a certain area of their life. And it could be multiple areas of life, but some people get really professional, right, at being victims or less than in some area of their life. They never stop and think, well, who keeps showing up at the scene of the crime, right? So, I mean, that would be a nice question to ask, right? And then you can look in the mirror and stuff, and you can see yourself. So, all right. And I've had to do this lots of times. This is a little bit of introspection. If I keep having this recurring problem showing up in my life, well, who keeps showing up at the scene of the crime? Now, the real problem is my consideration about these circumstances somehow being more powerful than me. Like these circumstances are somehow going to stop me from getting to where I want to go, or having the experience that I want to have, right? And so it's easy to blame. It's easy to blame and continue to fix our attention on the circumstances, on the problem, which is actually the wrong thing to focus on. It's the wrong target. Because again, what we validate expands. What we keep saying, that's real, that's real, that's real. Guess what? Okay, that's real. It could even be subtle at times. Did anybody ever read the book Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh? This was like a big hit back, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, whatever it was. And so Neil Donald Walsh, he's this writer, and he mocked up this conversation where he was, excuse me, where he was talking to God. And of course, the book was controversial. How dare he say that he was talking to God? Okay, so read the book or not, whatever, your choice. But in this conversation that he was having with God, he said, I've been broke all my life, and I keep asking for money. I keep saying, God, I want money, I want money. And you said that ask and it shall be given you. And my prayer has not been answered. You have not answered me. Esther, the book is called Conversations with God. Right. And so why, God, have you forsaken me? Right. You don't answer my prayer. I keep saying, I want money. I want money. And God responded and said, I've always answered your prayer. He said, what do you mean? He said, well, you keep saying, I want money. So you get to want money. There you go. You want money. It worked. Delivered right on schedule. Right. You get to want. So even as subtle as that, right? What words are we choosing? What is the internal dialogue that is surrounding our having or not havingness of whatever we think we want to experience in our life? Great friggin' question. Great question to ask, right? Now, what do we know about creating, well, hopefully we know about creating progress and ultimately, wealth and freedom in our life? What is the greatest wealth creation emotion that has ever been codified or labeled? It's called gratitude. We're grateful for stuff that we have, not stuff that we lack. So now we're going to shift our attention, we're going to shift our focus and break that gaze, break that fixation of attention off of what we don't want and onto what we do want. And here is where usually a lot of ambiguity comes in. Vagueness, right? Uncertainty, undefiniteness, right? So what do we got to do? We got to get definite about where we're going. Now, we can take the same person whose energy was fixing their attention on the negative, we could take that same energy and we can start to fix more on the positive. And if we're vague about where we're going with this, and trust me, my friends, it's way more inspirational to move towards something you want than just away from what you don't want. Okay. Way more inspirational to go up the mountain because I see the summit than it is to fight, fight off the piranhas while I'm trying to get out of the mud pit. Okay. Way more inspirational. So we've got to have a bit of clarity. And how can we get that clarity? We can get that clarity by doing something a little bit creative with what we've automatically been doing the whole time anyway, which is fixing our attention on what we don't want. So since we're already, in a lot of people's cases, since we're already looking at what we don't want, okay, rather than just validate that and think I'm a victim, I can't do anything about it, we could start with one question. What would be the exact opposite of this? Okay. I'm not saying that you need to be eloquent or anything like that, but if you just like looking at problems all day, well, let's really define that problem and really confront it and really know what it's about. Okay. And now let's describe what the exact opposite of that would be. I had this conversation with a business group that I work with last night, right? We were talking about, I introduced one idea that I had. I used to always say, I have no time. I'm too busy. I have no time. How's that for an affirmation? I have no time. And guess what? I had no time. So I looked at that problem. I looked at that barrier to me getting what I wanted in my life, right? And I said, well, what would be the exact opposite of that? Let's just look at the words. I have no time. I have plenty of time. I have plenty of time. Well, that's a lie, says my conscious mind. That's a lie. Okay, go ahead and write the lie down on a piece of paper. Go write it down. I know it's a lie. Just write it down. I have plenty of time. I have plenty of time. And guess what happened? Can you guess? Here's what happened. We kind of touched on this a bit yesterday. I found myself spending less time on stuff that wasn't bearing fruit, right? I have no time. Why? Because I'm doing all this other stuff that is marginally effective. Maybe I don't know. I started assessing, where does all my time go? And guess what I did? I started making some new decisions about time. And guess what happened? I had plenty of time to do the other things that were more fruitful. So that lie that I wrote down on a paper, simply by being willing to look, all right, here's what I don't want. Stop fixing your attention on that. Let's define what the opposite is. And let's just give some thought that it could be possible that I could have plenty of time. That's a possibility in the life of somebody on planet Earth. It might not be mine at this moment, but what we validate expands. Okay, so let's validate that. Let's affirm that. Let's at least look at it. And the fact that you could take a pen to paper and reduce a thought into the physical world, now it's ink on paper, right? You just proved to yourself that you can manifest stuff, right? That may sound a bit esoteric to you, but hold on a second here, right? That document didn't exist before. Now it does. There's other documents that didn't exist before. Now they do, right? Everybody here in the United States, right? We got one called the Declaration of Independence, right? That didn't exist before. We got one called the Constitution. Actually, a lot of our political leaders still don't know that exists, but it exists nonetheless for those of us who are willing to look, right? So you got to be willing to look. That's the trick. You got to be willing to look. So what have you fixed your attention on in your life up to this point? And can you get crystal clear about what the opposite is of that which you don't want? That would be a good starting place for this whole idea of definiteness of purpose, definiteness of decision. This is a prerequisite to you getting what you want, right? I know some of you have read Napoleon Hill's classic book, Think and Grow Rich, right? Think and Grow Rich, where he talks about desire as the very first principle. Like if you don't have definiteness of desire, you really got no shot, right? I mean, you could read the book for entertainment or whatever, but definiteness of desire. There's nothing vague about this. We actually become what he describes as like obsessed with our goal, with wherever the riches are. Okay, the riches, obviously there's money, there's lots of forms of riches. Okay, but that can't be vague to you. That's got to be real. Okay, in fact, once we get into your business launch strategy session, which some of you have been through, some of you are getting prepared for that. We're going to be talking about this in greater depth and how you actually apply it into your life and into your business, right? Because that's the real bottom line. We're all here to make money, right? Not to have a hobby. You can go do hobbies. You can do whatever you want, right? We're here to prosper, and you deserve to prosper if you know where you're going. Okay. So without that, you really got no shot. So take a look at that. You could do that exercise today, right? What is it that you've had your attention fixed on, either knowingly or through third-party impingement, that has fixed your attention on that which you don't want, which has kept you stopped in some area of your life. And let's just consider what would be the exact opposite of that. Okay. Now, obviously, you've got circumstances in the world, like for one example would be like the COVID-19 pandemic, right? So what causation do you have over the, that pandemic or the statistics around that pandemic? Well, on a global scale, not much that unless you've got magic wands or something, right? But no, how about on a micro scale? Okay, let's bring this home. What can you do? We had this conversation yesterday. What could you do in the face of whatever the circumstances are to cause yourself to advance? Because I'll tell you what, my stats are through the roof. Holy crap. I am like the busiest guy on planet Earth. Okay, so how does that happen, right? Well, I could bemoan my circumstances and go with, the whole victim society thing, or, and again, this is not to invalidate that. Yes, there's people are having challenges with this. I get it. Or I could ask this question: what part of this can I be responsible for in my world, in my circle of influence? My circle of concern reaches far beyond that. Yes, I'm concerned, but I can't have an effect out there. I can have an effect right here, and that can then leak out and be part of the solution outside of my immediate circle of influence. So, well, damn it, let's get to work then, right? What can I do? What part of this can I be cause over and responsible for? In my household, yeah, there's lots of stuff I can do. In my business groups, yeah, there's lots of stuff I can do. Hopefully, I'm doing some of that right now. Hopefully, you're getting something out of this, right? So there's something more than just whatever's being screamed at you on the, the idiot box or whatever, right? Or on YouTube. That's my intent, is that you guys win and win big. And if not now, then when? My goodness, right? Every crisis has a seed of an even greater opportunity, and stats are through the roof. So in fact, I got to place an order on Amazon today. I told my wife, I got some stuff that I threw on my wish list. I tend to do that, and I'm going to stop talking here in a second. I tend to just go shopping and throw things on a wish list. And this is just my method. I'm not saying that it's right, but I tend to practice deferred gratification. So, that looks really good, right? And so I put it on my wish list, and if it's still there in 6 months, I'll buy it. I take a long time to actually buy something. Now, if it's something that I need foil replacements for my electric razor, yeah, sell me 2 of those, right? I don't sit on that decision. But if it's like trinkets and stuff, I sit on it for 6 months. And it drives my wife crazy too. She's like, well, do you want to place the order? I was like, no, I'm gonna just let them sit there. So I've gotten good at deferred gratification. My daughter hasn't. I want. I was like, oh my goodness, you want, huh? All right, well, let's get you earning some money. So thank you, my friends. I hope you got something out of this conversation. Clarity through contrast. Here's the poop, right? Well, what would be the opposite of that? And let's just shift some of our attention, because you only got so much each day. You're going to spend it somewhere. Let's shift some of that attention on the possibility that the opposite of this could exist in your life. And now you got clarity. And now we can make some definitions around this. We can say, oh, we're making this much money. We're doing this. I've got plenty of time. Fill in the blanks with whatever you want. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. I'm done talking. Let's open up the floor. If you've got commentary, please unmute your mics and let's have a little conversation here. And we've been at capacity the whole time. Hey, Virginia.
Hello.
Hey.
That was really great. I have to say that was very great.
Well, thank you. You're great.
Thank you.
Anything else? Want to keep telling me how great I am?
No.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
second that.
Thank you. Thank you, Virginia. Glad you're here. All right.
I'll
Who's
second
next?
that. I'll second
Thomas?
that. I'll second that. That was good.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. So glad you're here, my friend.
I've actually written it down. I've got plenty of money.
Good. That's great. Or I live in an ever increasing abundance.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
Oh, I'll write that one down as well.
yeah. I mean,
I'm
it's
doing that now.
your words. Whatever works for you, man. I kick ass. Great. Whatever. That's awesome. Whatever works for you. Whatever conjures up those emotions of I
No.
have. We're grateful
No.
for what we have, not for what we lack. So whatever conjures up that vision
Yeah, but
and
those
feeling
were,
of gratitude.
we just spoke about words, or you just spoke about words, and those words are wrong. I don't want to kick ass. I want money. No, I don't
Good.
want money. I have plenty of money. Because if
Right.
I want money, I don't get money. I
Okay.
get money, but
Right. So, you're referring to that subtlety that Neil Donald
Yeah.
Walsh wrote about. I want money.
Absolutely.
Okay, you want money.
absolutely.
Great for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't want money. I have money.
Got it. Yeah, I have. We're grateful for what we have. Well done. Kathy and Dale, how are you guys?
Great,
It's
thank you.
fine.
Hey,
Good
John.
morning, John.
Your
Hey.
camera's off. Usually I can
I
see
know
you.
it. We're
can't see
having issues with it big time.
you. Oh, okay.
We're not exactly morning presentable.
Hey, John, that movie, The Secret, or the documentary, we've already watched it, what, 3 times?
Yeah, it's very good.
And it's so awesome. And it's exactly what you're saying. I mean, it really, I don't know if everybody's watched it yet. It was, what is it, $2.99 if you just go into buy it, but it was part of the Jetstream, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But it is so inspiring, and it really opens your eyes up to this. Anybody go watch that, because we're gonna watch it again over the weekend. Probably a dozen more times.
Nice. Nice. Well, yeah.
Hi,
And,
this is Elizabeth.
oh, yeah, we'll go to Elizabeth in just a second. But for those who are wondering, once you go through the whole Jetstream process, you'll get to watch that video for free. That was a big movie hit about 15 years ago. So thank you, Kathy and Dale. Elizabeth, you've got the floor. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to mention about The Secret that there's an app that you can download onto your phone, and it has affirmations and the contrast, it lists all the things that you want, all the things that you're grateful for. It's a tool that I've used actually for some time. Sometimes I forget about it, but then I go back to it, and it's a real worthwhile app to download. And I'm not sure, I don't know how much it is anymore, but there is a dollar value put on it, but it's not too much. So if you do a search on it, The Secret, that will come up.
Are you referring to Mind Movies, perhaps?
No,
Mind-
no, My Movies is something different. If you go into your app, where you get all your apps from, like on iPhone, they have a different, I don't know what it's called. I just go into it, and then you put in this in the search bar, Secret, and that app will come up. You can download it.
Very good. I know right around that same time when The Secret was a big hit, which for those who don't know, that was like a DVD and book. They sold like $200 million worth of it. It was a really big hit. And it's not like they had a new truth or anything. They were just packaging up and calling, some personal development principles The Secret, which is a good way to sell stuff. But there was another app called Mind Movies. I'm sorry, we got a little bit of background noise. I'm going to mute the mics so we can hear, and then you guys can unmute as you like. But there was another app that Elizabeth just reminded me of, that you make a little movie, like you put in pictures and it makes like a little slideshow movie with music, and you get to see like a dream board, right? Some people make a dream board with, here's going to be my car, here's going to be, my fit body, right? So it's kind of like a little movie you get to watch on your phone. So anyway, good stuff. Thank you, Elizabeth. And Maria, what's going on, Maria?
Hi, brother. How you doing, baby?
I'm good.
Well, I wanted to say, sometimes you wonder, where does this person have all this energy? Where's it coming from, And I feel the more we give, the more we receive. We get recharged, So I think you have that gift too. You give a lot of yourself, but you're also getting recharged. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you for that observation. Yeah, it's an interesting thing when you study things to the point where you've got to now apply them into your life and be able to explain them to others. I think you get more yourself, So,
But thank you. I want to say one more time that I am very grateful for all the thoughts and everything you give to us, because, it's all, a lot of it is business, but you have a pure spirit. I feel that from you. So thank you.
Thank you, Maria. I received that. Thank you, my friend.
I
Who's
wish
next?
that worked for authors.
Thomas.
I wish that worked for authors. I've given away over 2,000 books, and I still haven't sold 2,000 yet. So,
Well, what's your book, Thomas?
I've got 3 of them. Desert Overwatch is the first one, and that's followed up by The British Frontline, and then the Namibian Offensive.
Fiction?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They're to do
So-
with the Russian mafia in Great Britain.
Got it. Got it. So I don't know fiction. That's a different world, but I know it's one that could be quite successful. I guess there's very few Stephen Kings out there, right, and stuff
Oh, yeah.
like that. But I think really what it comes down to is marketing. When it comes
It's getting the book in front of people. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
yeah, it's a marketing thing. I mean, you could have the best damn book in the world if nobody reads it, if nobody knows about it. So
Correct.
yeah, it's a marketing consideration.
Correct. I mean,
Yeah.
my books have been likened to Lee Child and David Baldacci, people like that. You know, so
Are they good people to be likened to?
yeah, very good.
Okay. I've never heard
Lee,
of them.
Lee,
I don't
Lee
know.
Child is probably one of the most successful crime fiction writers on the planet.
Ah, yeah. So different world. I mean, I can name philosophers going back 2,000 years, but I had no idea who those guys were. So
Yeah.
different world of publishing. But yeah, you know what? Let's get some marketing going with you. Who else wants to jump out here today?
Can I say something?
You sure can.
I just want to also say that those videos that you guys sent on the emails of law of attraction, that has just blown my mind. All those videos that you guys sent, the 3 of them or 4, was it? I can't remember, but like my brain is so totally like rewiring right now on the positive thoughts and the fear that I had just trying to start this business. Like there was so much fear in me, just like, I don't know, it was crazy. And then I watched those and it was just like, wow, like I can do this.
That's great. Esther, you can do this. And so thank you for, I mean, you just cognited that, right? So you had a few inputs that were new inputs for you, but the
Mhm.
energy is already yours, right? It's not like
Right.
you had to, get a new body or something. So well done, my friend. This is just the beginning.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
I'll
excited.
tell you one other thing, which you may not like to hear, and that is constant vigilance is required because it takes no work to grow weeds in your garden, no work at all.
Right.
All right. So constant vigilance. And I'm saying that from experience. Some
Very
people
good.
say, the first million is the hardest. I say bullshit. No. Picking yourself up off the ground after you've lost everything, after you've made millions, is the hardest. Starting over. Okay. And I say that from experience because some of you know a bit more about my story, but it's not, tiptoeing through the tulips. It's hardcore. So,
Sure.
yeah. Anyway,
You
thank
lost
for
you
being here.
lost everything and you had to start again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Houses,
That
$2
must have
million,
hit you hard.
$2 million bankruptcy, like just total Armageddon. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I respect you even more now.
Well, there you go. There you go. Okay.
Wow,
Thank you,
I admire
Maria.
you. There was a reason why I always want to listen to you.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Maria. And thank you, Esther, for being here. Because look, the decisions you're making now, Esther, will also shape that of your child, right? So now they've got
Mhm.
possibilities which weren't before.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I
So-
thought. Yep.
Yeah, you get a lot of respect from me. All of you guys do. You get a lot
Thank
of
you.
respect from me. Anybody else want to talk today? Jim's got his hand up. Jim's standing on ceremony here. Jim, unmute your microphone. Come on out.
I have. Yeah, just to share something. It was an echo from last week, and that's something that I've carried on into this week. I think it's really important. Whilst everybody's watching the inspirational videos and doing the kind of the blue sky trading and then moving on to the modules, you mentioned something which I think is very important because as you go through the modules, it takes time, and some of them are quite long, some of them are quite short. But it's to mix it with practical application straight away. So if it's using keywords in Helium 10 and Amazon Jungle Scout, all of that, then make sure that people do that as part of sucking up all the theory, because all the theory is a bit kind of two-dimensional. You need the practical bit. And I'd also say as well, I mean, my mind is kind of constantly now always thinking about what are the products that might achieve the goal. So I did think that whilst I've got my own ideas, people shouldn't forget that they've got friends and family and a network on Facebook and all of this. Find out from people what kind of things they think that they're lacking in their daily lives to give, to let them think and do a bit of the groundwork for you, to give you the ideas then to develop. Because I think it was Christine Berry said, you just need one kind of key word sometimes that somebody's brought up, and it can just lead down into a cascade of other avenues, other rabbit holes that get you thinking and then branching off into different thinking. So I think just an idea, people should use their friends and family to try and generate these product ideas as well. That was it.
Thank you. That's good market research. And Jim, you're sitting in exactly the same spot as we saw you, and you're still in Ireland, right? You're in Ireland?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. At the cottage or something? The cottage?
Well, it's in a town. It's my car's broke, so I can't get more writing paper. So I'm kind of trying to beg, borrow, and steal writing paper to make notes. But yeah, I'm kind of isolated here. I came here for 2 weeks. I've been here for a month. I'm not in a rush to go back to the UK because it's safer here. It's quite rural. So me and the dog, good weather. It's great.
There it is. There it is. And winter's over. So enjoy Ireland, my friend.
Thank you.
So we'll see you back here with your little fish hanging poster and your stuff tomorrow. All right, guys. Anybody else? I see.
John, have you written your story? Have you written your story?
You're asking Jim?
No, I'm asking you, John. Have you
Me?
written your story? Yes.
Oh, well, my first book, Integrity is Everything, sold thousands of copies. It's on
Is
Amazon.
that so? Oh.
Yeah. First chapter, I tell a little bit of my story, a little bit. But again, that book was published over 10 years ago. So I need to follow that up. So unlike Thomas, right, who writes multiple, fiction titles, and that, like somebody who's a full-time author would have a publishing schedule, right? I just said, you know what, I'm going to hang out in a cabin for a week, kind of like what Jim is doing in Ireland right now. In my case, I was living in Tucson, Arizona. I was like, I'm going up to Sedona for a week and get a cabin by Oak Creek, and I'll just write. And after thinking about writing the book for 20 years, I wrote it in a week. Done.
Wow.
Right? Once you make the decision, that's it. So I need to make that decision a couple more times, and I'll have a couple more books. I've published other like ebooks and stuff, like mostly in the business opportunity and online marketing space, but no other like actual 200-page book. That's the one and only. It's Integrity is Everything. So, and
Awesome.
Sarah's asking, is it on Audible? No, Sarah, it's on paperback and Kindle, and I published it originally on compact disc. Here's the 5 CD set read by the author. Okay, and I never republished the audiobook, and now I got all these people that are looking for it on Audible. I need to just get off my ass and do it. I've just been insanely busy. My goodness, you know how many new members we got just here in Blue Sky? It is like the massive horde of people coming in to get online businesses going. So yeah, I'll get around to an Audible version here.
You better do it. We're all waiting.
Yeah. Well, times changed. I thought the compact disc was here to stay. Right? Most people don't even have a disk drive on their computers anymore, right? So
Right.
all right. So somebody's Sarah's challenging me. Do it today, lol. I challenge you. Yeah. I don't accept your challenge,
Me
but thank
too.
you.
I'm there.
Okay. I do not accept your challenge.
John?
Not today. I actually got to get video production done today as well. Who else? Somebody else come out here.
John, Donna here.
Hey, Donna. This is Donna, everybody. She's brand new.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
Donna.
I'm really, really excited about this. And we just had our call with John just prior to this. And you told us that on Fridays we bring a joke, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a very funny person. I don't really have a lot of jokes, but I do write raps and songs for kids. And I do have, I've read all those books like Neil Donald Walsh and Think and Grow Rich and just gobs and gobs of, and Watch The Secret. And I wrote a rap for kids. It's called a drug-free rap, but it talks a lot about everything we've been talking about today. So I was wondering, instead of a joke, can we bring other things like raps that we've done and that add to this fun?
I think you know what, I'm gonna leave that up to the spontaneity of whatever happens on Friday. We call it Fun Friday, and
Fun
so
Friday.
usually, and this is something we just started doing recently. Somebody has a joke, maybe two people, right? We don't want to spend all day just telling jokes, obviously. So depending on how long your rap is, I think Esther would be very interested in having her daughter tune in. Maybe I'll grab
Yeah.
mine too for that.
I would
So,
never do the whole thing, but just a
okay.
taste of what we can do when we take all this information and get creative with it.
Good. Good. Yeah. Anything uplifting, inspiring, and useful for the group. Thank you, Donna. So glad you're here. And
Me too.
in fact, everybody, Donna was the one who flashed into my mind as I introduced today's topic, because Donna and I just kind of had a mini version of this conversation just in our smaller welcome session. So good stuff, Donna. So glad you're here. Anybody else today want to talk before we wrap up for the day? Anybody else going once?
Okay, yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to say, this is a different topic, but yesterday you talked about Get It Done. And I have found that simple thing as the most powerful piece for me at this time. The modules are a little daunting. There's a whole lot to take in. And now I know that if I have just one Get It Done every day, I am moving forward. And so I'm really excited about this.
Wow. What a breakthrough, Michelle. One thing that you complete, that you said you were going to complete, could be a small thing. That's fine. That's a done. That's a done. We celebrate every win.
It's huge.
Well done, my friend. John, you got a comment? John Hyder?
Probably just to change wheels a little bit. I'd like to have Stuart and Leanne list the steps in setting up an account we talked about yesterday. And also, that book about consistency is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Very nice.
I feel like I'm walking on every page in there.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of feedback on that book. Well, actually, all of them. Those 5 books are easy to digest, and yet pack a good amount of actionable stuff in there. John, I'm going to get you a link. I'm going to get everybody a link to. There's a document how to set up your Amazon sellers account.
Yes, that'd be great.
All right, Bernadette's on here. She probably has the link already ready to go. Here you go, John. I'm so organized. Here I am. Right. So,
I sent it. We posted it last week. I can find it again and send it in.
Stuart,
and then there was also a good module by Christine. Is her name Christine Stein from eGrowth to walk you through all of the don'ts when setting up your account, which I thought was good too. Yeah.
Well, there's that. Let's see here. Where's this document? Guys, I'm not finding it.
Hold on, let me see.
So Bernadette can email it to me so then I can put it
Just
on.
got you, John.
And I did set, I looked at Dropbox last night. You got it, John?
Got it. All right. So it's called, all right, here it comes. Hold on a second, guys. And we'll put this in the chat, which again, the chat archive can be found in the YouTube video description. So if you're on a YouTube channel, you're watching the video, look down, see the description of the video, and you will see where I said chat archive here. You click on that, you'll get a plain text document downloaded to your computer. The name of this document is Amazon Seller Identity Verification Guide 2019. Is that the one we're discussing, Bernadette? That's the one you had in mind?
Yes, the one I have, yes.
Okay, there it is. There it is on the chat. You guys got it.
Bernadette, you're the best, Bernadette. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll find the one from Christine Stein. It was also, I think it was like in one of Sophie's Thursday calls or whatever. She was the guest speaker or whatever. But that one was really good. I'll look for that as well. Okay.
Very nice. All right. We got to wrap up here pretty soon, guys. Dee Dee, you got your hand up.
Yes. Hi, my name is Dee Dee. I am pretty new to this thing, and I just had a quick question. And thank you, John, for all of the wonderful information. And hello to everyone. I'm a little social media shy. That's why I'm not on camera. I'm trying to kind of get used to the whole thing, but this is actually helping me kind of break out of my shell a bit. I'm usually a social butterfly, but not so much on social media. I don't know why, but anyways, my question is, I ordered all of the books because I'm better at reading a book, when it's in my hand, not necessarily on Kindle and that sort of thing. But I noticed that not just that, I've ordered a couple of other things on Amazon, and I've noticed that they're taking a long time where normally I get stuff like the next day or 2 days later. How is that affecting sellers online? I mean, is that, because obviously this COVID-19 is my assumption is affecting in the sense that they don't have the same amount of people in the warehouses to ship stuff. So how will that affect us going forward?
It's actually fine. Everything's going to be fine. So right now you've got you've got FBA, which has been slowed down or paused for a time while they handle more pressing necessities. They do have people who are selling things that are deemed, household staple items, these sort of things, which are business as usual. However, regardless of however many people Amazon has on staff, there's only so many UPS trucks and everything else to go around. Okay, so when we get into logistics and delivery, yes, there's going to be some delays. My daughter ordered a necklace, a household staple. It's not an absolute necessity. She ordered a necklace 2 days ago. We're in Phoenix. It came yesterday. So typically here in Phoenix, you order, you get stuff same day or next day or whatever. So that just occurred on a very, very not necessary thing. All right. So it's kind of hit and miss, or it could be 4 days, whatever. Right now, as a seller, the bigger consideration is fulfilled by Amazon versus fulfilled by merchant. In the case where you're ready to bring a product to market and FBA is like, hey, we're not going to take that product in at this moment. Well, fulfilled by seller or by merchant, right? So just a little bit more legwork for you. And then you switch over to SBA or FBA. I'm sorry, too many acronyms. Switch over to FBA once this thing is passed and it's normalized. And I would suggest that anyone who's getting traction now, once this this incident is over with, it's going to be, the floodgates are just going to open because there's a lot of pent up consumerism right now that isn't happening. So just get ready. And I think the people who are affected more than people who are doing online business would be, like I mentioned before, restaurateurs, gym owners, event people, travel, planners and such, right? So that's like real rough right now. But online business, yeah, stats are just fine. Really, really good in some cases. So.
Thank you. One more quick question. You just mentioned fulfilled by merchants. So I'm actually done with module 4. I was going to go back and re-watch them just so that I can make sure I am ready for when I start working with my coach, but I don't recall them covering anything like that. So where would we go to take, was that something that I would ask my coach to, maybe consider?
Yeah. What module are you in now?
I finished 4.
Oh, good. And have you had your first meeting with your coach?
No, because I'm still trying to get all my products researched and so forth. And like I said, I don't recall if it was you who mentioned it or someone else when I was, going through videos and calls. They said that they suggested to go back and watch 1 through 4, just so that, make sure you have all the information, because sometimes when we watch things once, we may miss a couple of things here and there. And they said that it's probably a good idea. So that was what I was thinking about doing while I was researching products, is to go back and rewatch it and be ready for the coach. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah,
but
it's good. It's a good thing. You're right. Do that. Yeah. And then meet with your coach and you can talk more about fulfillment and question that, but you're exactly right. Dee Dee Hanson, ladies and gentlemen, there she is.
John,
Next time we'll
I
actually
sent you
see her.
John, I sent you an email.
You did?
Yeah.
Crikey. You and 10,000 other people. Let's see.
Okay,
here what we
it's
got.
the new seller verification rules or something. Yeah.
Let me take a look at this one. Oh, that's a different document than the
It's a
one that I
different
just posted.
document. And there's a video, like if you guys search under that title in the Friday classes, the Thursday classes with Sophie or whatever, there's a video where they actually are speaking to those slides. And it was a really good session. And I got my account proved like the first pass through, which was good. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Bernadette. I'm going to go ahead and shove this in our chat as well. And then everybody can have that. Boy, well, look at the hits just keep on coming, guys. This is just, sign me up, damn it. Sign me up. Okay. Here comes this other document. Any burning desires before we wrap up today? Documents in the chat. Any burning desires? Last call? Last call, and we are done. I will see you guys tomorrow. Go ahead and grab those links, and if you're seeing this on YouTube, look in the description. If you don't see it in the description, it'll be there as soon as the file renders, and I put it in the description. So thank you guys. A lot of love and respect here. I'll see you all tomorrow. Make it a great day.
Everyone, thanks, John.
Bye.
All right. Bye for now.